It all started with a telephone call.
So will you accept a transfer charge call from Bewdley? She said, is that gal's Bridrith? I said, give or take a vowel or two, yes.
And then little by little, 25 different events came together, crammed into 10 days in Bewdley in October. And yet another Bewdley Festival begins. Events in the morning, from ancient to modern. Events every afternoon.
The one on the bird table, my agent in America said, Jeff, what are we going to call this latest cat of yours on the bird table? And I said, Henrietta. And he said, why'd you call it Henrietta? It's a nice name. And I said, well, there was a bird on the table, but...
In fact, it doesn't cross frontiers terribly well. I took this to the French Armourers show in Paris. Great way of attracting attention to your exhibition stand. I can be there quacking away and people come around to see what on earth's going on. Just what I want. And there I was doing this, and this Frenchman walked straight up to me. And he said, this product, you don't think it will work over here? I tell you frankly, you have no chance. This duck, it has an English accent.
And of course, events every evening.
I'm always interested in how long it's been percolating through the rocks. Sometimes it's up to 600 years, and the sell-by date is 2 weeks' time. That always will...
There's highbrow.
A painting that depicts a mirror explicitly makes reference to an act of looking, and often implies the existence of someone outside the painting who has a particular physical and spatial relationship with the painting.
And those au fait blamed loss of urban raison d'etre, yet claimed that if this tête-à-tête was seen merely as an isolated, wicked Mardi Gras for the rampant enfant terrible in their coup d'etat, this could be merely an all too brief and sinister au revoir in an ongoing black and white British film noir. Thank you.
And not so highbrow.
I met you for the first time last night when I kissed you and I held you tight. And baby, you made me feel alright. So this is the song that I sang all night. Oh yeah! Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la. Oh my! Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. Yes sir! Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la.
A Knight of the Realm flies in from New York to perform with our leading jazz singer.
Have you seen the well-to-do strolling down the avenue on that famous thoroughfare with their noses in the air, high hats and narrow collars,
white spats and $15,
spending every dime for a wonderful time?
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits? Putting on the Ritz.
But home-based talent is just as popular. There's everyone's favourite former bank manager talking about his beloved Bewdley.
That poplar tree features in so many paintings and old photographs, which you'll see as we go on. No rowing club on the left in those days.
There were 2 art exhibitions in the town, one featuring work by Art in Minds.
So for those of you who might not know, Shrub Hill Workshop is a vocational unit which is based in Worcester, and it provides a service for people who are recovering from mental ill health and who feel ready to work towards returning to college or to employment or volunteering or other community-based projects.
The other featured paintings of Worcestershire locations described in Francis Brett Young's books, while Dr. Michael Hall talked about the great man himself.
The shapes of the landscape, the Clents, the Malverns, the great dome of Bredon, the rivers of mine own country, proud Severn and gentle Avon, the villages of half timber and mellowed stone. I felt that after long wanderings, I had come home.
Luckily, there were no representatives of our twin town in the audience when local teacher Max Keane undermined the entente cordiale in his annual lecture.
I will attempt to be as politically incorrect as I normally am. And to that end, are there any Johnny Frenchmen or ladies in the audience today? Splendid. Because we can speak freely. Those of you who witnessed my ramblings about the Spanish, where we booed them to infinity last year, to this time there'll be no booing of the French. No booing at the mention of the French. Instead, we're going to have a Gallic shrug.
From the sophistication of Fenella Fielding.
Darling Evelyn, I had to spend all August in England rewriting The Little Hut for North America. Sheer waste of time, in my opinion. But I might as well eke out the month of August in London as anywhere else, I suppose.
And Giles Brandreth.
I imagine you showed more respect to Fenella Fielding. Michael said to this old actor, I'm finding it difficult to understand the quality, the nature of the relationship between Hamlet and Ophelia. How intimate are they? I mean, for example, does Hamlet sleep with Ophelia? And the old actor answered, well, I don't know about the West End, laddie, but we always did on tour.
To the more down-to-earth common sense of Adam Henson.
The arts director leaned down with the drawer and she says, oh, they're lovely. What I'd like to do is put a lead and a collar on these little piglets and let one of the little girls take it for a walk. And I thought, oh, no, what have I done? But I couldn't lose face, so I went in the loose box and I caught this pig and it was squealing a bit and put a collar on it, put the lead on it, and I thought, these little girls, they might get dragged through the stinging nettles. Anyway, I handed it to this little girl and it trotted off like we'd been training it for months.
Not to mention the sheer earthiness of comedian Mark Steele.
Blair himself left being a Prime Minister, resigned, and then become a Catholic straight away, didn't he? Just got to pity the poor priest that has to take the confession. Crying out loud. Been here 3 bloody days, he's not even got as far as Iraq.
The 6,000 people who came to listen, look, laugh, and take part in the 24th Bewdley Festival summed it up in one word.
Stunning.
One more time.
It's a little bit of country life.
Country life. Well sung. Country life.
2012 is going to be a very special year. Not only the Queen's Diamond Jubilee and the Olympic Games, but the 25th Bewdley Festival. Work is already underway to produce a programme that once again brings to Bewdley an amazing variety of performers, from top international names to newcomers and talented locals, to perform to packed audiences and create that wow factor in the community. So will you play a part and become a sponsor? We guarantee the experience will be no less than
stunning.
Why don't you remember I'm your pal, brother?